This is SANDCAST, beach volleyball with absent Bourne and Travis Mewhirter. Try's still traveling the world, but these guys are not. We got Roberts and Andy Benesh, 7th place finishers in AVP Hermosa. That's not bad. Congrats.
Good. Thank you. Appreciate that.
How are we feeling after the weekend?
Definitely still a little tired. Going through the qualifier, and there were some rough turnarounds between our matches. So body's definitely hurting a little bit, but recovering well. So
yeah, what gets sore for you? I was talking to Adam before about like what gets sore for him. For him, it's mostly his shoulder, but mine's like all like my knees. They kill me.
Right now, well, especially in the deep sea, my hips start to kill me.
Yeah.
Especially if like I'm pulling a lot.
Yeah.
Just weird angles, putting your foot down, and then my hamstrings too, just from squat jumping, blocking. So
yeah.
If I keep those two loosened up, I'm usually pretty good. I don't really have anything with the shoulder or elbow or anything. So.
Yeah. Well, from what I saw, you didn't have like a whole lot of opportunities to get the shoulder sore. Adam was like, your kills and attempts were like way up there.
Yeah.
Is it like when you like almost know with 100% certainty that you're getting sort of like, what's the mindset like with that?
Scoot over this way a little bit, Andy. Let's lean over to this line and we'll pinch in. No. You really have to be focused in. You have to think like any serve is possible at this aspect.
Right.
And I think if you're like, if they serve me short, then what? You just have to be ready, really focused in on every aspect of it. And even in their approach, as I see Stafford lining up, and he does his practice toss now and everything. I know a jump serve's coming. You're just always ready.
Yeah,
you're just always ready.
I find it like easier to be engaged when you are getting like a lot of serves. Like I almost prefer that because like if I'm not getting served at all, like it's funny. Like teams will go kind of on streaks where they serve Myles and then they'll serve me. Like in 1 month it'll be everyone sticks on Myles, and I'll get like almost like sort of bored. Like I'll just be like, all right, I'm just gonna walk in and set it, and then when I get served, I'm like, oh my god, like what do I do with this thing? Like you have to stay fully engaged all the time when you get served.
Yes, you do. I've never had that luxury of somebody else getting served. I think in Myrtle Beach once at the Myrtle Beach Open, after I've won it for like 10 years in a row, I think I brought somebody up and they served them like the first 4 balls. So. Yeah, it was good. It was good. You know you're getting it, and you're ready. And so my job, I've talked to Nick and Phil about this a lot, and because I'm good buddies with them, and your Nick's job is to side out.
Yeah.
And he knows that, and he makes the plays or whatever, and it allows the blocker to be a little more aggressive. Nick and Phil have always said, our thing here is that now Phil's able to go forward a little bit more with his serve and or with his block. You're saying your block in line and going for it. We've tried to take that approach, and it worked well this weekend. Andy was very aggressive up there at block and making moves, and if he misses one, that's okay.
Yeah.
So similar with the serve. I'm really trying to move him around. And he's got a little bit more of a green light to go for it if need be.
For sure. And you guys came out of the qualifier to finish 7th, which, compared to the girls, was a slacking finish for a qualifier team.
I thought we were doing well.
But, when you, on Wednesday night, is your goal just to make it past the qualifier, and then do you, reset on Friday and be like, all right, well, this is kind of what we want to achieve? Or at that point, are you just we made it, we've done what we came to do? Just have fun.
To be honest, last summer I qualified a couple times, and that was kind of my mindset. We qualified, I was like, I'm so stoked to be here. Obviously we were stoked we qualified, but I texted Adam Thursday night. I was like, we're not done yet.
Love that.
I'm not just here to go 0-2 in the main draw. I'm trying to win some matches, see if we can compete at that level. So. We talked about it all weekend, starting on Thursday. It's just 1 point at a time. Don't look too far ahead. We didn't even look at who we were playing most of the time. Just showed up to the court. Kind of just helps you focus on your side of the net.
Yeah. What do you get more nervous for, qualifier or main draw match?
Qualifier.
For me,
sure.
qualifier times 100. Once you're in main draw, it's oh wow, we did it. This is what we came here to do.
Right.
Qualifier, it's they're gnarly. And your road was your bracket. I think your bracket was one of the most difficult, kind of a tie with Marty and Baranek and Dave Palm and Dylan Merrick.
There were some nasty draws in the qualifier.
Yeah. So just nerves or mindset. Is it any different in a qualifier versus main draw?
Honestly, well, I don't know about for Adam, but for me, just knowing it's a single elimination qualifier,
it's crazy.
Anyone can beat anyone. The wind starts picking up, whatever. You go on one bad run, you basically lose that set. That's definitely a mental grind. So I've always been more nervous for the first match of the qualifier, and then after that I kind of like settle in. But the first match of the qualifier is usually where I'm most nervous.
Yeah, they're nasty.
Yeah.
And was your last main draw was Hermosa last year, right? Because you made San Fran with Cole.
Yeah.
And then was Hermosa with Cole too?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it had been a while. How was it being back in Maine?
It was good. Me and Cole lost the match to get in Manhattan last year, and then we lost the match to get in Austin. So I was definitely hungry for it. A little disappointed in how we finished some of the qualifiers, but we faced good teams in the qualifiers. It's not like we were losing to scrubs.
Yeah, for sure.
So it was nice to be back in there.
Yeah,
that was one of the things is that when you look at it, especially if you've been playing for a long time, you kind of see like are we a good team or are we not? And of course we did well in Denver and won that ABP Next Gold Series, but to lose first round in New York and in Seattle. We're kind of maybe thinking, maybe we're not that good. Maybe we are. Who knows? But I just kept thinking. I was like, man, I really think we're a good team.
Yeah.
Even though if you basically just went to results and you looked, lose the game to the end, lose first round. It's like, maybe these guys aren't that good. But I just kept thinking, man, we really have something special here. So it's something I talked to him about that to me it doesn't make sense when guys make lateral moves mid-season.
Yeah.
Now we've gotten a little bit of stretch of time with it, with different training, and we kind of know each other and our flow's feeling really good. And so to make a lateral move just doesn't make sense. If he or I get pulled in the main draw, then, we got to face that road when we get to it, But until then, it just doesn't make sense. And I saw, after that Seattle, that was a tough one. Those guys played really well with us and had some amazing digs towards the end. But we're just like, first round, this is rough. This is rough and it's tough. And I just kept thinking, I think we're a good team. And now it feels like we've earned some of the respect that I thought that we had all along.
Yeah, well, I think that you guys are a good testament to what can happen when a qualifier team actually, God forbid, stays together after two bad tournaments. Because that's all it was. I feel like for especially AVPs, if you have two bad tournaments, it seems like you've had just a terrible season because AVPs are sometimes a month apart.
Correct.
And it's your season's been awful because you lost two matches.
Right.
It's you just lost two matches. That's it.
Exactly.
The single elimination's tough. You won Denver, which is, in my opinion, to win an AVP Next Gold Series is twice as hard to win a qualifier.
Right.
Because you're playing more matches against more quality teams.
Right.
And so you guys did that. So was there any difference in your what was the difference between when you guys played really well in Denver and then maybe when you struggled for one match in Seattle and New York?
I mean, the Denver tournament, it was a little bit more hard-packed sand, so we were a little more physical there. And, for me personally, I felt like I served well in Denver, and I didn't serve well the New York qualifier or the Seattle qualifier, and that's obviously a huge part of the men's game. So I kind of changed it up this last weekend. I went to more float serves because I was actually having trouble seeing. I need to get some sunglasses, but I throw the ball up. I couldn't see the jump serve at all. It was bad. But I knew there's stuff we could both work on from the two first round exits we had. I mean, he had some side out stuff. He started working on more of a wrist choppy to a cut shot instead of hard driven angle.
Yeah.
And it worked really well the last couple weekends. So I think just both of us focusing on an individual game and figuring out our roles helped us, get over that hump.
Yeah. What's the discussion after a loss? I know every partnership is really different. Some people just don't talk to each other for a week and they just let it simmer, or some people right away they talk about it. What were kind of those conversations after Seattle and New York? Because whatever it was, obviously it worked pretty well.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might know that I'm not good whenever we lose. I might have left some people in some cities. I think I left Bill Kalimsky in Cincinnati. Just left him.
I kind of like that though. I like my partner getting pissed off that we lost. If you're just 100% good right after you lost, it's you don't care that you don't care enough. Yeah, you don't care enough. So I feel like sometimes that might rub people the wrong way, but doesn't rub me the wrong way. That means he's out here to win. So
usually I have to take a day to kind of look back and regress and think about it or whatever. And we usually get together maybe the next practice and just say, hey, it's been a few days now. Let's see what we think we can do better, work on, and we've kind of touched on those, and it seemed to have worked. But it's tough in season because it's like, okay, boom, next tournament,
right?
Next, you know what I mean? It's like going right into it. It's tough to grab a coach and get everything worked on and like everything that you need to, and so you really have to work on the fly in season.
Right.
It's tough because it's you finish, you get home, it's Monday, and like boom, next tournament. So yeah, we gotta leave on Wednesday for the next tournament. So you have one practice to maybe work on some of those things that you have. So
yeah. And last time we had you on, we called you kind of the beach volleyball talent finder.
Yes.
You keep like finding all these like young blockers, and you kind of groom them. They play really well. And here we have Andy Benesh getting a career finish right off the bat.
Yep.
Where'd you find your boy?
Yeah, it was. I was lucky to get him. I was really lucky to get him. Paul and I had split up, and we weren't playing together anymore. And I was kind of in a scramble, and all these guys were like, "I'm waiting on this guy, waiting on that guy," and I wasn't even sure I was going to be able to play in Austin without having someone I thought I could win with.
Yeah.
And Andy and I had really never practiced together. We had a 4-team training session that we had in Huntington. You were at that one, and kind of saw him. My thing was that first time I ever saw him, I'm in San Francisco last year. He's a 64 seed playing the 1 seed against Myles and Kyle Friend.
Yeah.
And I saw him run to the net, get a few blocks in a row, get an ace, and I was watching on center court, and I was like, who is this kid? And I was like, well, let's just see if he can set.
Right.
Standard big guy stuff, right? They serve Cole, and he just sets up a juicy set, and I was like, well, man. I was like, what is his name? What is his number? I'm going to tuck that one away. And the day of the sign-up, I'd gotten in touch with them, and I said, hey, let's meet up and see if things look good and we want to play together. So the team we had canceled, so it's just him and I for a little practice session and a buddy of his. And his buddy comes, and we're trying to shuffle around and see, and he's like, I might be playing with him, I might be playing with you. And it was, to me, it was chaotic. And his buddy left, and he said, I'm free this weekend, you want to do it? And I was like, all right.
Yeah.
I like to be a little more professional with it. And he's like, well, I got nothing to do.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. That's kind of how I live my life.
Yeah, and now I know that.
Yeah.
And now
That's
I know
great.
that. So I've had to adjust some things, but it's been good.
Yeah, I'd say so. So was
It's been
Austin?
really good.
So Austin was your first tournament.
It was,
Yeah.
yes.
And that one went really well. I mean,
It did
you
go
went-
very well,
you
yeah.
went final round of the qualifier.
It
lost
did.
to Lobman and Ospina, who ended up beating Jake and Tay, so that loss looked really good.
Yes.
In retrospect,
Doesn't make it feel any better, though.
right.
Yeah.
That's what- we lost to Lobman and Gabe in the round before that, too, and everybody
Yeah.
was just like, oh, how much better does this make you feel? I'm
Right.
like, not better at all.
Yeah, because
I'm not playing.
you can play at that level. So
But you guys obviously started out really hot, and then was Denver, and so Denver, for the listeners, was an AVP Next Gold Series, which that Gold Series is awesome.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a very wonderful event.
It's
yeah.
like a minor league tour.
yeah,
It
It's
is.
great because like the money's good, the points are good, and you're getting bids to main draws.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
I
It
don't
is.
know why. I guess the one in Pompano this weekend's already filled up. But
Right.
I was gonna say I don't know why more people aren't playing these things.
Yes.
They are.
Yeah.
But was that your second tournament together?
That was right after New York, so that was our third tournament, right? So we didn't end up qualifying. We went straight from New York to Colorado.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. So last minute we jumped in.
Yeah.
We jumped on.
So that was
That's right.
That was
That's
actually really good because, that match we had in New York didn't go very well, and we came out in Denver and they're probably 5 or 6 really good
It's
teams.
a good
there.
field.
Yeah, it was a good field. So I think that gave us a lot of confidence moving forward, even though
It did.
the one
It did.
even we lost in Seattle the first round, we kind of had that to look back on. It's like, okay, we can beat good teams.
Yeah.
We just need to be a little bit more consistent. And
Yeah. And in Denver, was that a pool play one? Pool play
That one was, yes.
Okay. Did
Yeah.
you win all your matches in pool play too?
We
When you
did.
come out?
We
Okay.
did. Yeah. But 2 of them went 3. We had a couple of battles, and we needed that tournament. We had to work some things out, and we did. And it was the same thing. Is that after losing first round in New York, we looked at it and said, what do we do? We got to figure this out fast.
Yeah.
You got to fly out that night or the next morning or
Yeah.
something. And so it was just, what do we do? Well, I guess we'll go for it. So
Yeah.
it's tricky whenever you have to look back on something and say, all right, this is our main goal. For some reason this doesn't happen. Let's look back and
Right. Well, I think competition as a team is better than any practice you can do because you're in so many different situations that you just can't simulate in practice.
For sure.
I was telling you how me and Myles are almost too comfortable being down in the third set because we've come back from them so many times that
Right.
you figure out how to get yourself out of situations.
Yeah.
Did you guys, what are some of the biggest takeaways you had from playing a handful of tournaments coming into Hermosa? Because I'm sure that all those reps probably, obviously paid off pretty well.
I think for the most part we're just finding our groove. We're kind of now he knows if I pass it out here, and even if I say set it up straight and down, he knows to kind of flow it out to my right shoulder. Some of the covers, he's gotten really good at that. He's for a big guy, he makes so many good in between plays. Off the block he turns, he ups it and he can put it away. And we always talk about in-between plays, especially a lot of new indoor people that I see come to the beach. Their in-between plays just aren't, because, they have a libero who's always getting that little one or whatever, whatever it may be. And we've just kind of learned, boom, I'll take the first one. I'm the big guy. You're going to set me low, and then, we're going to crush it down. So it's we seem to just kind of know a lot better now.
Yeah. And when you guys saw, I know that you mentioned that you don't really look at who you play, but when you looked at the bracket, did you know that you would have Paul and Gabe to get in Hermosa, or did anybody look that?
I did not. Yeah. I didn't know until 20 minutes before our match.
Nice, I love that.
Yeah, and honestly, it was better because if I would have known earlier in the day, I probably would have been, chomping at the bit to get to that moment, and then kind of get lost in another match. We had 2 pretty difficult matches before that. So it was a good thing that we didn't look ahead. We just took it point by point.
Yeah. How bad did you want that one when you saw them?
We wanted it. Yeah.
They're a good team. They're a really good team.
Yeah, they're very talented, very good.
Well.
They're playing great. Well. They're playing great. But we felt we had a swing to go up 13-11 against them in Austin, and we didn't get it.
Yeah,
and they finished off on a run.
I think there was a scramble play too where I decided to pull my hands at 13-all. And I thought Paul was going to try to swipe me, so I pulled him, and he just knuckled it straight down. I was like, are you kidding? That put it to the freeze in Austin. So there's definitely some moments in that match that hurt a lot. So it was good to get that win this weekend.
Is there any better feeling than the last ball going down in the qualifier, though? I think that there's no sweeter feeling. That's times 100 than any main draw win I've ever had.
I was telling Earl and Jake that because they qualified for the first time this weekend. I was like, there's honestly not a lot of better feelings than grinding through a qualifier to make it to the main draw.
Yeah,
it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, what went different in your Hermosa match against Paul and Gabe? I know you mentioned you dropped your hands, a couple kind of funky plays like that, a swing for 13-11 that didn't go down. But because you guys got them, what was the score in the third? It was a pretty good margin, right?
It was 15-8, I think.
I think so, yeah. We went on a little run. We ironically, it was very similar to the match in Austin. First we went at Gabe, and we got a lot of points on them, and we won pretty easily in Austin and in Hermosa.
Yeah.
Game 2, they went on a run, and they beat us pretty easily in Austin and in Hermosa.
Yeah.
And in Game 3, same in both. Gabe really got his side out groove, and the second and third was, if he hit 10%, he hit 80% in the second and the third. It was he was a different man.
Gabe does that.
Yeah.
And
he just turns it off out of nowhere.
Streaky.
Yeah.
The one thing is that we did have a little bit of wind, and so in the third, they ended up playing straight across. So Gabe stayed on the strand, good side.
Stay away from the wind.
Yeah, and so we said...
You that with me, too.
We said, yeah, no. Let me try that on a couple sides. He didn't like that. And so we ended up trying Paul on a few.
Yeah.
And Paul is obviously an amazing attacker, but with that wind and the swirl, and now he's on a different side that he doesn't normally play, we were able to get a few points on him, and they got frustrated, and Gabe ended up getting a punted red card, and
so
nice. It was
love that.
Yeah.
It was it went our way. 15. It went our way. Yeah. Andy did a really good job of serving because they were thinking Gabe, and they were actually giving a lot of the good side court.
Yeah.
So Andy used that advantage to be able to serve to the line and got him in trouble once. Then I think he got a full ace. Then he got a block. So the bunch we might even have 5 in a row.
Yeah.
Switch 10-5 maybe.
Yeah. Going to pause right there really quick for a quick word from our sponsors. Hey, they're the ones who keep the show going. We got to give them a shout out. All right, so shout out as always to our guys at Wilson who are giving out all the best balls on the AVP Tour, giving out the best balls on the College Tour, the CBVA. Everybody uses Wilson, and it's for a reason. And you probably do too if you're listening to the show, and you probably need new balls. So if you do, give us a shout at Wilson Sand on wilsonvolleyball.com for a 20% discount. All right, that is Wilson Sand for 20% discount for the best balls in the game. All right, so go over to Wilson, use the best balls out there. You can get them decorated by Nicolette Martin, have a great time with them, and use that code for a 20% discount. Lord knows we all need them in beach volleyball, so go ahead and give me use. And just as we all need volleyballs, we also all need recovery devices, all right, especially for those of us who are traveling all over the place. Recovery is key, which is why Firefly Recovery is our guys for that. You can just strap these things on your knee or wherever you are injured or need some recovery, and Firefly has you covered. It simulates the blood flow down the legs or wherever you are injured, and it just heals it. You could be at work putting them on. It's going to heal you up. You could be on an airplane. Thank goodness. That's where I spend half of my time these days, and it's going to heal you up. Firefly Recovery is your spot, and you can use our code SANDCAST. Then you get 10% off of Firefly Recovery. So you got 20% at Wilson. You got 10% at Firefly. You are set up. Now for our final but not least sponsor, we have Pacific Coast Wealth Management. All right, they are some of the guys who are responsible for putting on such an excellent event at the Laguna Open, so it's always good to give them support. And if you need any type of financial support, they have your back. So you can get up a free consultation at Pacific Coast Wealth Management. All right, and we're going to give you the Pacific Coast Wealth Management Olympic breakdown. All right, so unfortunately, Russia is number one for the guys. We got Vyacheslav Krasilnikov and Oleg Stoyanovsky ranked number one in the Olympic race. Number two, the Norwegian buddies, the beach volley Vikings, Anders Mol and Christian Sorum. Number three, we have the Polish Todd Rogers, Gregors Fijalek, and Michael Brill. Esteban and Marco Grimalt are right behind them. The number one American team in the current Olympic race is Bourne and Trevor Crabb, our only split blocking duo in the country. On the women's side, this is a much more American-filled affair. We have Rebecca Cavalcanti and Ana Patricia Silva as number one in the world. They're from Brazil. Number two at the moment, Carrie Walsh-Jennings and Brooke Sweat. Number three, April Ross and Alex Kleinman. Number four, Canadians, Heather Bansley and Brandy Wilkerson. Number five, another Canadian pair. They're our buddies up north. Let's give them some love. Melissa Humana Paredes and Sarah Pavin. Checking into the U.S. also in the top 10, Sarah Hughes and Summer Ross, and Kelly Clays and Sarah Sponsel. A lot to change, obviously, in the coming months as some of the bigger events come up. But that is your Pacific Coast Wealth Management Olympic update. And now we will get back to SANDCAST. As always, appreciate you guys listening to the show so much. Love all you guys. Love beach volleyball. Appreciate all the support.
And then a couple more, and then the red card. And so
that was something we talked about before the match too, though. Like how I think we tried to keep it away from Paul a little bit too much in Austin. Right. And I was like, Gabe was in a really good groove. If he gets into that groove again, maybe we challenge Paul a couple times to see what he's got. So it was a good adjustment, I thought.
Yeah.
I kind of like your matchup with Paul anyway because you're so big that not many people are up there with him, and like you're such a good blocker.
Yeah.
And that's why I liked your matchup with Troy too, because I mean Troy likes to swing at anybody physical. Like I like your guys' matchup because you take hard drivens really well and you block so well too. So I'm sure like you and Paul are probably a pretty good battle up there.
Yeah, he's got a good arm. He
really
he'll turn like his body towards the angle and he'll hit it even more angle. Like he goes turns angle and then wrist away. It's hard to get. He's got a really good arm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then, well, once you got into main draw, like Adam, it had been a little bit for you too, right?
Correct.
From your last AVP.
Yeah.
I always wonder, because like it had been a year between mine too, and I feel like mentally is the hardest part when you kind of play in a lot of qualifiers. You know that you yourself as a player are getting better, but for whatever reason the results aren't coming. Like, how do you guys kind of deal with that aspect of it? Because like Ben Vaught is like ready to retire from volleyball right now. I'm like, dude, you're so much better than you were a year ago. You just like lost 4 matches that you didn't. That's the only difference.
Right.
So is it tough? Like, how do you stay mentally engaged and to like keep coming back and doing it and putting in the work every day? Because I know that like doubt kind of creeps in with everyone for the most part.
Yeah, no, it was. I'm not gonna lie, it's a little tough last month. Just not getting the results you expect, but I mean, anything that's worth it's not going to come easy. So
Right.
it's kind of like just put your head down and keep grinding. If you like playing, you like playing. If you don't have the passion for it, you're probably not going to make it anyway because
Right.
there's going to be some bumps in the road. So
For sure. And I feel like the bumps always make it sweeter too.
yeah, it makes the wins.
In
that much
retrospect,
sweeter.
at the time, you're like, God damn it.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. I mean, you just got to get back out there every single time and got to keep training and working hard. And, you know, for me, I kind of look back on some of the seasons that I had and looked at some of my higher finishes, some of the years that I had. And a lot of it really just broke down to, you know, nothing major, but the training was harder.
Yeah.
So I looked at like 2011 and I said, you know, what was I doing? And I trained harder that year. And as you get older, you have to train smarter than harder. I understand all that. But I look back and I said, you know, I need to be doing more.
Yeah.
I need to be more efficient. I need to be doing more. And I cranked up a lot of that, and it's seemingly paying dividends. And,
Yeah,
and allowed us, it worked. It worked, and it allowed us to go deeper too. You know, maybe after some of the hard matches that, you know, were gassed for the next one, which did happen to us against Rafu and Ed. But other than that, we bounced back pretty well, and all of them we felt pretty fresh, and
Yeah.
and it was good.
Yeah, I mean, you guys, like, you beat a lot of really good teams. I mean, even the first team you played, Steve Roshitz and Kyle Ratty, I played them a couple matches later, and I'd never played either of them before. And Roshitz is he's like fully ambidextrous, has this gnarly serve. Like,
Yeah.
they were a good team, and you guys like worked him pretty good on tired legs too.
Yeah.
And then
Rhythm versus rest. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I remember we were talking before the match, and like we played Rush Schultz in New York, and he was cranking jump serves at us. He's getting really good. He didn't have the serve going against us that first match in the morning, but we went after Ratty most of the time and kind of just short deeped him to death and made him move. And in that deep sand, we knew he probably wasn't as comfortable in the deep sand, so just wanted to see what he had with his footwork. So we were able to score a lot of points.
I love deep sand tournaments because I think I think shallow sand favors a little bit, not like the unskilled teams, but the teams that maybe like could come out from indoor and be fine because like they can just beat balls from 10 feet off and the setting doesn't need to be good. But like deep sand, like you have to be really sharp.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that most of the time, like you won't see as many crazy upsets because like the better teams will usually win in deeper sand, and then of course this tournament happens and everything goes crazy.
Right.
Like the college girls were so fun to watch.
Yeah.
With like Zana and Chrissy, the 47 seed in the qualifier, making the semis.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
And then you guys, I think, have made the deepest run of any qualifier team this year into a main draw.
That's pretty cool.
What was it like going up against Billy and Stafford? And you took the first set, right?
Yeah.
And then, like at that point, do you expect you're like, all right, well, like winning is now the expectation? Like, does anything change when you win that first set?
For us, it didn't change too much. You know, it was we were receiving for the first set, and I kind of got under the ball and I hit it out. And you know, sometimes you're thinking like, oh, this is whenever the better team comes back and they pull it out and this and that. And Andy made a couple of good plays, and he got a swing for this first set. And I just felt real confident in him. I just pushed him up there, and he kind of did the Paul Lottman sharper angle. And once we got that, the way he was blocking, the way he was seeing Stafford, I thought we could beat him. I thought that, wow, you know, we can beat these guys for sure. You know, they're having an amazing season. You know, did so well in World Champs and beating some awesome teams. But he's good against hit blockers. And I said this before. We've always had kind of a saying. We'll be playing qualifier with a big guy possibly, and he's getting chiseled underneath the armpits, and he's not getting any blocks, whatever. Then they get in the main draw, and it's a whole different airspace. Now they're getting now they're blocking everybody. So I was hoping, it's like, oh, I hope he's really an awesome main draw blocker. And it turns out that he is. He's great in the qualifiers as well. But it's not even a joke. It really is for people seeing at a higher space for them to be able to be at that range and be more comfortable with it. And I just had a feeling that he was going to match up well against Stafford, and he did. But the sun came out and it baked, and we that second set we were just kind of standing there, and we were just. I wasn't sure where we were. We got to be pretty good, and I wasn't sure we were going to get the energy for the third.
Right.
You know, like we have 1 minute timeout. Like we're pouring water on our ice water, and and I knew that he had to get blocks. They had to be instant plays, because if it was like, 4 times over and then I get served like 4 balls in a row, it was going to be tough, because we were both hurting.
Right.
We were both hurting. It was more the heat and then the second day of that really weighed on us.
Yeah, it got real hot. And I lost a lot of water weight that day before in the qualifier. It was really humid during the qualifier. Yeah. So, like, I think I weighed myself at the end of the first day in the main draw. I was like 10 pounds lighter than I was Wednesday.
What do you weigh?
I'm like 205. I dropped down to like 192.
Whoa. Yeah. Holy cow.
Yeah, it was kind of bad.
And you're like, what, like 6'8", 6'9"?
Yeah, like between 6'8", 6'9".
Shoot, and you're down to 192?
That was without, yeah.
Holy cow,
I've gotten a little bit of it back. I weighed myself down this morning, but I got to keep eating.
Geez, I feel like that's one of the gnarliest parts that people don't even consider, just like the nutrition aspect of keeping up with the qualifier and then the main draw, especially when it's like that hot.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't even play in the qualifier, and like when we were playing Casey and Chase, it was like, oh my god.
Yeah.
Our match was at like 1:30 at like peak of the day. It was hilarious though, because we lost, then we went back to the tent, and you guys were playing Billy and Stafford, and Raffy was freaking out because he was playing the loser.
Oh yeah.
He was like, Stafford, what are you doing? So Raffy was really rooting against you guys.
That's okay. I still like Raffy.
I was cracking up though, because Casey was then making fun of Raffy. He's like, you should have beat your guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but then, so you guys played, what, 3 matches on Friday?
Played 3 matches, like, back to back to back, basically.
Yeah, that was for you for the third. Like, how do you find the energy to get back out?
I didn't have enough time to really eat. Like, as we just got done with our match, like, you can't really, like, force anything down when you're, like, that dehydrated and exhausted. And I, like, forced down a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Just, like, chewing for hours.
Yeah.
Put it down.
Yeah, it was not a good tasting sandwich.
Yeah, we had, like, a 35-minute turnover. We actually thought we were done.
Yeah, we thought, and that was a very emotionally draining match against Billy.
Yeah, for sure.
I probably cheered too much between points, to be honest, because that drained a lot of energy for that third match. But
yeah, I mean, I feel like main draw though, you just have to you gotta put everything out there.
Yeah. Yeah, so we were close to empty in the third, and we were on full empty against Ed and Rafu, and they're a very precision team, and they played great against us, and I don't think that's the perfect team we match up against. I'd like to see them when they're 100%, but they played really well against us, and
they did. I think they both hit over like 550.
Yeah, they were.
It's crazy because they're so different. Because like Rafu is just like everything's so crisp and sharp, and then Ed has like never made clean contact in his life. Like everything's like a deep backspinning spatch to the corner. He's like, "Yep, did it again."
Yeah, they controlled us with that one, but it was good. It was good. We were able to get some rest. I think Andy said, he texted me that he had eaten over 2,000 calories for dinner, which was good.
Yeah,
which was good. We
shout out to the Dyers.
Hydrated and came back strong on Saturday.
Yeah, you played what, Chase and Avery?
We did.
First round. I'm wondering too. Like at one point, like, were you happy with the results you were at that point? Like, I feel like a lot of qualifier teams, like, you're like, oh, well, we just won 2, like, we're sitting in 9th. Like, this is a great tournament. And then, like, you knew you would have to play someone like either Jeremy and Kame, who were coming off a win, or Chase and Avery, who made the semis here, like, 2 years ago. Like, how do you fight off complacency at that point? And just being like, yeah, like, of course, like, the odds are stacked against us, but, like, we can still beat these guys.
Yeah, I mean, obviously coming out of the qualifier, we don't have that opportunity every tournament. So, like, when it's there, you really want to take advantage of it. And, I don't think there was, like, a team in the draw that we were intimidated by, really.
Yeah. So, with some teams being out, we just looked at it and we were like, whoa. We can play with this team. We can play this team. We can play with this team. And we started looking at it, and we're like, man, especially after getting some confidence beating Stafford and Billy. Yeah. So I do feel like they were one of the best teams there.
Yeah.
So now we're looking at it.
Did you play the 1, 2, and the 3 seeds?
We played 1.
You played
4.
You beat the 2. Billy and Stafford were the 2, right?
No, they were 4.
Oh, they were 4. Okay.
Yeah. And then we lost to Troy and Tim, but. I mean, even those teams, very polished, very talented. Volleyball's a weird sport, though. Like, you don't have to be better than them to beat them. Sometimes you just have to get the ball to the sand 2 more points than they do. So.
Yeah, and so much of it's about matchups too. Like you said, like I think Andy, I think you match up with so many of the really top physical players on tour because like you're so big and like you're pressing so far over the net, and like that like Troy loves to go for those like bounce swings, and I like watched you like block some that were like bouncing before Troy was back on the ground. I was like, damn. It's a good block.
Exactly, and that's what I was thinking. I'm sitting there looking at the list, and I'm like, oh, okay, Stafford likes to hit, Avery likes to hit, Troy likes to hit, like Jeremy likes to hit. I was like, glad I got a hit blocker. Yeah. But the thing was that he was so amazing. He mixed it in. If you watch some of the videos, I mean, he's like going up, delaying, and he's blocking shots and transition and just kind of devastating plays where he just took over up there. Yeah. And it proved. I mean, the stats aren't always right, but he kind of dominated the whole tournament in blocks.
Yeah. Yeah. You led the whole tournament in blocks, right?
I don't know.
%. I think I was looking at it before Sunday, and you were leading in blocks, and then I think Doherty was in second.
Okay.
So, but you were up by a lot. I looked at the numbers like, damn. All right, Andy Benesh, let's go.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But, actually before our first main draw match, I had him do a drill with me that I can't remember if it was Jeff Nygaard or Cambrian.
Don't tell what the drill is. Don't tell what the drill is.
Don't?
No, I'm just kidding.
Secret.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
But it's like to stop you from like flinching, to deaden your reaction so you can keep your eyes open when you're blocking. I just had him like throw balls at me through the net, so I was like standing this far away from the net and you just throw balls at my face. And it works, it deadens your reaction, and I was able to I think some of the qualifier matches that we were losing to, I was like ducking my head and closing my eyes. And I had my head up and eyes open all weekend, and I think that helped a lot.
Yeah. It's quite the drill.
Yeah. It's quite the drill. You writing that one down? Because you're a blocker.
Well, it's funny because it was maybe it was at your house when we were watching World Champs, and they kept making fun of Try because all of his blocks he had his eyes closed.
Yeah.
He was like, and then they would like pause it right there, and Try's eyes were closed, and we were laughing because the announcers were making fun of him. They were like, "I wonder if he'll ever block with his eyes open." And it would be funny to see like a picture of you just like fully looking at it, like just because of this drill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where'd you think of that one? Had you seen that somewhere?
No, he told me about it.
Oh, okay.
He told me about it.
Is that an indoor drill or a beach drill?
No, it was an indoor drill for middle blocking.
Okay.
I can't remember who made it. Was either Bill Ferguson, John Shea, Cam Green, or Jeff Nygaard made that drill up.
Okay.
But I remember whoever started doing it with me, I think it was my I was a pretty trash middle blocker. Like when I was coming out of high school, like I wouldn't even like look at the setter and be like doing game reads. So if they set the outside like 3 times, I was like, all right, I'm gonna go to the outside. Like I'm not reading it. But that was like one of the best drills that I learned at USC. Just be able to keep your eyes open because there were some gnarly arms in the MPSF when I was playing. So it kind of makes it easy coming out to the beach. You don't have to read anything. They could option, but it's going to one guy. Yeah. So you know where it's going.
4. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. So.
Yeah. Well, you went to SC. What years did you go there?
2013 to 2017.
Okay. Did you pursue overseas indoor at all?
I did. I played a half season in Switzerland. My body kind of gave out. My back couldn't do indoor anymore. But I'm kind of glad. Yeah. Beach is way more fun than
I've
indoor.
literally never heard anyone like come back from indoor and then play beach and be like, man, I wish I could still be playing indoor.
No.
Like everyone is so stoked to be on the beach.
Yeah, it's so much nicer.
Yeah. Did you play beach growing up?
I didn't. Well, so when I joined my high school team, they had a court, sand courts actually at Palos Verdes High School that the Delgados helped set up, or the Camerons actually. But I don't know if you know Grant Delgado. They have over on 16th,
right?
16th Street. So they have 2 courts there. So that's kind of what you did off season for volleyball. So that's kind of where I started, but I didn't really start playing beach seriously until last summer, beginning of last summer. So, yeah, it's been a good transition. Yeah,
was it? I know everybody kind of has a different speed to pick it up. Like you see, like Reed Pretty, and he's just going like all out into the beach scene, and then David Lee was kind of like a little bit here, a little bit there, and then he gets picked up by Rosie, makes a semifinal. Like, what's the transition been like? Because everybody kind of goes about it very differently.
Yeah, well, I was lucky to meet up with Adam. I mean, he's gotten some great training partners. Like we trained with Casper and Schalk for a couple weeks, and that was kind of cool. I hadn't played with with anyone at that level before, so to train with them and just know I can, kind of hang with them, it gave me a lot of confidence. But, I played a lot of grass volleyball growing up,
Nice.
and so I think that transferred well to the beach game. I played in Cole Fiers' backyard like all the time.
That's great.
School, so I think that's been a big step because especially as a middle blocker playing indoor, like you'll have a lot of goofy middle blockers with no ball control, and I hated that stereotype, so I always try to work extra hard to not fit into that mold.
Yeah.
So
Seems to be working out.
yeah,
Yeah.
doing well so far.
First, been nice having Adam too, because like your knowledge of the game is like
Yeah,
pretty much top of the top, I would say.
and he could tell stories for days about the beach volleyball community. So.
Yeah, we all went to dinner last night. Had a nice get together. We were lucky to have a bunch of our friends and family from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, that were in
that's
town
awesome
this
that you had
weekend.
so many people in
Yeah,
town.
it was.
That's so
It
cool.
was really fun. It was really fun. So at dinner, he brought his best friend, and his best friend since they were 3 years old, basically. And he was telling us stories, and he said that. Andy was kind of a skilled athlete in all aspects. What age was that you ended up growing so much? So
I was like 16.
Yeah, so from 16 to 17, he grew 9.5 inches in 1 year.
You were telling me about that in Chicago.
Yeah, so he said in the 14, 15, 16, he learned how to hand set. And he was able to do some of the skills position because he wasn't this big, clunky guy. Right from the start, he wasn't like the first guy to
I talked to
block.
Travis about that in Chicago, about how, he grew up small too, and like when you grow up big, like you can kind of just use your height. You don't have to gain skills at all, basketball or whatever. But like I played point guard growing up, like I wasn't that big and
so
super
useful.
scrawny. Yeah, it's very useful.
Like you learn all the small people skills, and then you grow, and then you have the height with the small people skills, and it's great. It's a good combo.
It is.
I feel like, and especially because like you've seen, like you mentioned, well, he's a big guy. He's like putting balls away, but can he set?
Yes.
It's like always the first question. And I feel like that's so helpful. Like if any coaches are listening, like if you have a tall player, like don't just put him in the middle, or if it's like basketball, like center. Like teach him everything. Because like I grew my freshman year of college, and like you grew 16 to 17.
Yeah.
So your junior year of high school.
Yeah.
It's like still pretty late.
Yeah, still pretty late. I was a late bloomer for sure.
Yeah. How bad did that hurt?
I was playing like 10 to 12 hours of Call of Duty today. So like I wasn't doing anything. Like I didn't have any pressure on my body, or like no shin splints or anything. So it actually wasn't painful at all.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to take Advil just to walk to class at Maryland, because it was like a half-hour walk to class. It was pretty long. But
I was lucky. I was lucky.
Yeah. That's awesome, though. So you guys, you got your 7th in Hermosa. You're straight into Manhattan. How big is that?
It's very nice. It kind of gives us a chance to really focus on the main draw and look at it and see. And like we said, we don't know. There's going to be a lot of switch-ups, a lot of new teams, and we don't really know where we're seated. And we that extra day of rest is going to be very useful. Very useful.
You want to? You played 3 matches in the quali on Thursday.
Correct.
For Hermosa, so you have 3 less matches on your legs.
Yep.
And so many people who don't really play in qualifiers, they've asked me, they're like, well, I play 8 matches on the weekends, and I'm not that tired. But how different is it?
It's just so high intensity.
Yeah.
Like you're going all out for every ball, because like we were saying, you go on one bad run, you basically lose that set. Single elimination, like anything can happen in a third set. You basically can't lose any sets. So
yeah. That's what, after Chicago, so me and Rafi played 9 matches, and I was feeling pretty okay after that. But then 4 matches in Hermosa main draw, and I'm still drained.
Yeah.
It just takes so much more out of you when it's at that level.
Yeah.
It does. And not only the physical aspect, but the mental aspect too. It's like I said, you're getting served every single ball, and you're hardly even blinking for 1 hour straight, where you're just so focused in. And if you're not, you get embarrassed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? On the weekend with your buddies, that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen. It's also every swing has to be 110%. Every single jump, step, close, and attack, and you're not doing that on the weekends with your buddies. So
yeah. For sure.
And he knows I'm not bailing him out. I'm not going option. So you're sliding out that ball.
Yep. That's the truth.
You say when you jump.
That's good. No, he knows he's not going to get a bailout. That's good.
That's really funny. But I feel like too the AVP. I feel like every event is just so much bigger than it was the year before. Hermosa was awesome. you guys were playing in front of like a sold out crowd, and you've been around the AVP for a while. Have you seen it like at this magnitude with like this much excitement?
It's been a long time. Donald's done an amazing job with it, and he's just built it up, and the energy's there, and the passion. And I think from what I've seen in the past, whenever an event, obviously Hermosa Manhattan had been here forever, but whenever they went to a location continuously over and over and over, and you can build that fan base up. And same thing, I remember right before this, when everybody was like, man, it just seems like it's been bigger and better every single year. And I've lived here for 4 years. I'm from the Midwest, and so on and so forth. And it has that feeling. It has that feeling of like more energy. Like you can start feeling it on like Tuesday. People are like, oh, the big Hermosa's this weekend. What are we going to do? We got to start getting our seats. We got to start doing all that. And Donald's done a good job with that. And he's got great talent, and he's got a lot of great things going for him that have built it up. And maybe the AVP is amazing right now.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Like because I mean, even my brother was in town, and he had never seen an AVP before. He's like, is it normally like this many crowds, like this big of a crowd for like a side court? I was like, no way. Like last year for our match against the McKibbins, we just had like people kind of milling about, and this year it was like 3 rows deep. And then you guys were on stadium, and it was, how cool was that, by the way? Kind of packed stadium.
It was cool. Yeah, it was really cool. That was the first time I played I played against Kyle and Myles in that qualifier on the stadium court.
A little different.
Yeah, nobody was. No one was there in the stands. So.
Yeah. Thursday afternoon.
It was cool, especially with all of his buddies from Myrtle Beach, and then I had some of my friends there too supporting. We needed the energy. It was good that we had fans in the crowd.
Yeah. Were you guys? What was the crowd doing? Because I know the Billy and Stafford are a pretty popular team, but everybody loves an underdog. Were they just kind of like cheering for like good volleyball, or did you guys have a little support in there?
Well, the Myrtle Beach crew was super loud, so I think after like the rest of the crowd saw like how loud they were for us.
Got the Roberts Raiders.
But I think after the rest of the crowd heard how loud they were like, oh, maybe we should cheer for these guys. So.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you could see, even on the telecast, you could see like, whatever the capacity was, 30% of capacity. By the end, it was like, 65. You hear, oh, this one's going to 3, and I think people kind of gravitate towards that. And then you see this energy of people and what's going on, who's the scenario, and they're the underdogs. And so that's kind of what it felt like to me being out there. Yeah. So.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, it is fun. Winning's fun.
Winning is super fun. And I still, you got my Venmo, right? Because you beat me in that bet.
That's correct.
Okay. Just had to make sure me and Adam.
Yes, thank you.
We're gambling on Brazilian beach volleyball.
Who do we think's going to make the Olympics?
Yeah.
Who's the second team going to be? So.
Yeah, so my money was on George, Wanderley, and Andre. He's got Alisson and Alvaro. So now it's on the SANDCAST for everyone to hold us accountable.
Yes.
I like his bet.
Yeah, we can do another bet right here.
Give him a band together. And not a bad payday for you guys either.
Yeah, I don't even know how much we won, actually.
Yeah, I think it was 4,400 split. That's what I saw.
Solid.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Most you've ever won playing volleyball, right?
That's the most I've ever won. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So what's the rest of the season looking like for you guys? So you're straight into Manhattan, so obviously doing that one, and then
we were going to Seaside before that.
Oh, that's right.
So
okay,
I'll go to Seaside. Yeah, okay. So I'm going back to Seaside. It'll be Andy's first time there.
Me too.
Then Manhattan, and then we are going to Chicago, and then Hawaii. And crazy enough, I got a phone call. There's a guy who's running the first tournament ever in the Maldives. So we were going to the Maldive Islands right after Hawaii to play in a 12-team invite tournament with the McKibbins.
That's so
Dave
cool.
McKenzie. Yeah, we're real excited. It's been on my radar to go there for a long time, surfing.
Where is the Maldives?
It's off the coast of India.
Okay.
Far off the coast, but off the southwest side. And then back to Myrtle Beach for the Myrtle Beach Open.
Nice.
Yeah, so that'll be kind of the conclusion, and then we'll go from there. So
it's crazy because like the season feels like it's coming to an end, but like Myrtle's in October, right?
Correct. Yeah, October 1st.
So we still got
exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So maybe a small one in there in between, maybe like the Zuma CBVA or something along those lines. But for the most part, those are our main focuses. Those are the ones we know about and like booked and ready to go. So
yeah. How is the body holding up? Because I kind of go in and out throughout the season. Like 2 months ago, like I was pretty beat down, but now I'm like feeling better. Like how are you guys holding up?
My body actually feels really good right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've been training pretty smart, like not overdoing it. And then you kind of just have to, you just have to listen to your body. If like something's bothering you, you kind of have to take a week off and rest it. But if you feel good, and
get some Call of Duty in there.
Yeah, get some Call of Duty. It works on your reaction times. I'm not even kidding. It's good. But if you're feeling good, like get after it a little bit more. So we're feeling good. I think we'll probably get after it the next month a little bit to get in shape for Manhattan.
Awesome. And Seaside. Yeah, that'll be a fun one. I'm excited. I've never been there before, but it looks awesome. Yeah, it's everybody. When are you guys flying in?
Thursday.
Okay. Do you get a car while you're out there, or do you just Uber?
I do.
Okay. Is that the move?
It's just far enough away. It's like a 3-hour drive, 2.5-hour drive from Portland.
Is that far?
I think it's about that.
Car it is.
2 hours. But you can't Uber.
Yeah. It's a long one.
Just check rental cars today. They're not that much.
Got it. Well, good deal. Well, where can our listeners follow you guys on like social, or just kind of, are either of you guys on social media?
I've never been on any social media my entire life, so they have to text me if they want it. My phone number is, and Andy is,
insider information.
Yeah.
No, I'm not on Instagram or Facebook. I have a Twitter, but...
So no wonder you guys are sneaking up on teams. Everybody knows you guys out there. Everybody else is like posting pictures, working out every time, and you guys just come in, beat them all down.
I don't know our names.
Put in the secret training.
We do train at the Topaz Court in South Redondo. So.
Yeah. Still,
which is a secret court.
Places to train at.
Yeah, it's good.
For sure. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's a great spot.
Yeah, that was a good 4th of July training.
That was.
Skateboarded on down, watched some fireworks, and walked back. But I can't remember if we asked you this question last time you were on, but so our final question for all of our guests is if you had to give one piece of advice to an up-and-coming beach volleyball player, what would that piece of advice be? So we'll start with Benesh. How do you pronounce your last name?
Benesh.
Okay.
Yeah, it's good. I don't even hear it anymore because most people say Benesh.
That's how I am with my last name. Yeah. I'm just like, yep, nailed it.
Yeah, you got the first 2 letters. That's fine. To young up-and-coming players?
Yeah.
I just say have fun. Enjoy it. If you're too focused on, where you are, like where you think you should be, you kind of get lost in like what it's supposed to all be about, just having fun and playing ball. So
yeah.
And then as a blocker too, I think if you're an up and coming blocker, really focus on your ball control because that's what's going to separate you.
Yeah.
So
work on the small people skills.
Right. Exactly.
Even if you have
small
height,
people skills.
Small people skills are good.
Yeah, I'm one that, I didn't really start playing until I was 20 years old, playing basketball my whole life, college basketball and everything. And, I look at all these kids and these juniors programs and it's something that you just have to stick with it. It's a sport that you want to keep going, you want to keep playing. And, my first year, I'm 20 years old, I go open tournaments in the Carolinas and my buddy went 0-2 every single tournament we played in. If you get discouraged, if you look back, and if you think that, then it's not going to be something that you're going to advance and have fun with. Like you said, winning is fun, but something to be able to start with, and you can play this sport forever. About 5 years ago, I was kind of thinking that whenever I'm done playing professionally, trying to play AVPs, that I'd kind of be done with beach volleyball. I'd look at something else and maybe try triathlons or something that would keep me in shape. Maybe not competitive. And I went to the Santa Monica Pier, and this guy drove out there, which is part of the story, gets out, comes out, and plays 4 games over 3 hours. And he was older, I could tell. He wasn't hardly jumping, he was hardly moving, and I got to play a game with him. And they left, and they're like, "What do you think, Steve?" And I said, it was pretty cool. And they said, he's 87 years old. Whoa. And he plays 4 days a week. And I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, man, obviously you really can play this sport forever. And it happened to be about a week later, and Kurt Rambis, who's a family friend of ours, who played for the Lakers, as we know, and coached for a long time, played NBA for 18 years or something. He plays beach volleyball now. And the sun was setting, he was watching, his son was playing, we were all doing a training session, and we're sitting there, and this is a guy who was to me, Hall of Fame-ish, he might not be in the Hall of Fame, but just a legend of basketball in general, not just NBA and everything. And he's sitting there and he's like, boy, you guys have found it. You know, this is it. He goes, I will play this till the day I die. This will be my exercise and energy and everything. And this is a guy who was like NBA, you know, 5 world championships, and he's saying that we've found it in beach volleyball. And it just really made me think, and it really made me be thankful that I've found this sport, no matter what age you find it.
Yeah.
And to be able to play it forever, and you know, the sand and the sun and the fun, and you know, it's all good on the body, and it's no matter what the level is, you should play forever.
Yeah. You and John Hyden on that.
That's
It's a contest.
And we're really going for it. Yeah.
Love it. Well, appreciate you both coming on. Congrats again on an awesome weekend. And hopefully won't see you guys in Manhattan.
Yeah. Hope so.
Thanks for having us on.
Shoots.